Top 10 creepy things happening inside China. 10. The J20 Fighter Jet. China gave one look at an American fighter plane, the F-22 Raptor, and decided to counter it. Enter the J-20. For a long time, the stealth aircraft was designed and tested in secret. In 2018, it rolled out onto the tarmac for everyone to see. The answer to the Raptor was finally combat-ready. The sinister aura fostered during its secretive beginnings was missing. More correctly, a little bit delayed. A set of WS-15 engines was supposed to make it equal or better than the F-22. Instead, after an explosion during a ground test in 2015, the engines were excluded from the plane's design. This means that while China's latest jet is operational and capable, it cannot yet growl at the F-22. 9. Most new pharmaceuticals are fake. In 2016, the Chinese government investigated the latest pharmaceutical drugs. The study focused on products waiting for approval. The analysis included 1,622 clinical trials and additional data like application paperwork, ingredients, and the creation timelines of the drugs. Over 80% of the data was fraudulent. Records about side effects had been deleted. Information was twisted until it proved that the drugs worked. Other information was incomplete or missing. Many products were not even new. Instead, somebody just mixed existing medicines. The investigators also found that several trial results were written before any experiments were performed. 8. Presidential enemy, Winnie the Pooh. A lot of things we take for granted are blocked in China. In 2017, Winnie the Pooh joined the censored club. The reason was not that the lovable character made remarks about the government, or disagreed with Chinese law, or refused to wear pants. His terrible crime? Chinese citizens started to compare President Xi Jinping to the iconic bear. Revenge was swift. Pooh was banned from Chinese social media and his stickers were removed from chat apps. China's upper crust famously lacks humor. They cannot stand civilians with clown genes. For example, those individuals who first started the trend in 2013 after they compared Xi and President Obama with a picture of the tubby bear walking next to the fit-looking tiger. 7. Mysterious breed-ready list. In 2019, a Dutch researcher stumbled upon a database in China and anyone could read it. This was more than a little disturbing. The cache held the private information of 1.8 million Chinese women. Not only did the database reveal their phone numbers and home addresses, a stalker's dream, but it also gave each person a breed-ready status. Some speculated that poor translation caused the bizarre word. The database was written in English. A language-challenged individual from China could easily have mangled the word without any sinister intentions. The original Chinese phrase could have referred to women of childbearing age or whether they had children. Indeed, the average age was 32. 6. The Electromagnetic Railgun. One of China's latest naval toys is an electromagnetic railgun. Spotted for the first time in 2011, it uses electromagnetic energy instead of conventional gunpowder to fire. Incredibly, the force shoots projectiles at 2.6 kilometers per second, 1.6 miles per second. In 2019, photos showed the first Chinese warship mounted with the gun. The Yangshan was a Type 072 Yuding-class tank landing ship. It was first noticed on the Yangtze River where the vessel was docked near a shipyard. A few months later, more photos appeared on social media and they apparently showed Yangshan sailing the open ocean. It was still armed with what looked like the electromagnetic railgun. This raised suspicions that the weapon was being tested under sea conditions. 5. Reincarnation must obey Chinese laws. For the first time in history, the world might see two Dalai Lamas living at the same time. This remark came from the current Buddhist leader during a 2019 interview. The 83-year-old man was chosen for this exalted position when he was 2 years old. For the past 60 years, the Dalai Lama lived in India after he fled the Chinese and his native Tibet. Recently, Beijing said that his reincarnation must comply with their laws. It's called the New Regulations on Religious Affairs and the Rules on the Management of the Reincarnation of Tibetan Living Buddhas. According to this mouthful, China reserves the right to approve the selection of the child destined to be the next Dalai Lama. 4. Dystopian credit system. Imagine not being able to ride a train or get quick treatment at a hospital. The reason? You lack enough government points. In 2018, China implemented a surveillance and population control project, unlike anything the world had ever seen. Called the social credit system, a score is given to every citizen in business. A positive score is bolstered by things like paying the bills on time, sorting recycling items properly, and doing charity. Perks include cheaper travel rates. Travel rate waiting periods at a hospital. A chilling statement provided the other side of the coin, saying that the system was designed to make it hard for the discredited to take a single step. This epic public coercion is made possible by the country's 200 million CCTV cameras. They are hooked up to facial recognition software, and once a person is identified, the system can riffle through their private records and watch for disobedience. 3. Sonic attacks. In 2017, American diplomats stationed in Cuba fell ill. The mysterious circumstances surrounding the event, which many suspects were a sonic attack, soured relations between Cuba and the U.S. At one point, all Cuban diplomats were kicked out of the States. This episode is well known to those who follow the news. A fact that received less attention was that during the same year, and a few months into 2018, the same thing happened in China. American diplomats stationed in Guangzhou started hearing funny noises. This was followed by splitting headaches and insomnia. One consulate, who also reported abnormal feelings of pressure, ended up with brain trauma. Highly alarmed, the American government withdrew several staff members and their families. 2. China is hogging a lethal virus. The United States and China had an understanding, ever since the H7N9 bird flu was first detected in China in 2013, samples would be provided to the U.S. on a regular basis. Initially, things went swell. China shared the new flu strains and all related data. Over time, communication deteriorated until the samples stopped. No amount of asking could produce a single vial. The implications are not immediately obvious. However, China's refusal is a disaster waiting in the wings. H7N9 has a 40% fatality rate. If that is not terrifying enough, the strain keeps evolving. American scientists need to follow and understand this shape-shifting to protect people from a pandemic. But since the silence fell, there came with it the chance that the world might experience an outbreak nobody is prepared for. Indeed, there is no way to develop a vaccine without the latest samples. 1. A terrifying organ trade. China is known for its efficiency. However, some fields cannot produce zippy results without causing suspicion. For instance, every country struggles with the number of patients needing organ transplants. There are not enough donors. Most people wait for years to replace a defective organ. In China, the period is more like weeks. In 2016, around 640 organs were transplanted. This sounds normal until you check the facts. All 640 operations occurred over a period of 10 days. The official donors were listed as 30 individuals, which runs to an impossible 21 body parts harvested per person. In the past, China plucked organs from prisoners without their permission. The country claimed to have abandoned this practice. But in 2019, a tribunal interviewed witnesses and combed through records. They found that the forced harvesting was still very much alive.